You're welcome once again to this channel, the Digital Operational Resilience Act, DORA. That is what I'll be speaking on today. And I'll be speaking on ICT-related incident management, classification, and reporting. Don't forget about the 5 pillars of DORA: information and intelligence sharing, ICT risk management, third-party risk management, incident reporting and response, operational resilience testing. These are the 5 pillars of DORA. Okay, I've done some earlier videos on uh, the introductory aspects of DORA and on ICT risk management, right? So if you can go through my channels, okay, for you to be able to have access to those videos. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, this is a very good time for you to subscribe to the channel. I provide lots of training materials on information security, cyber security, IT auditing, IT risk management, IT compliance, governance, uh, risk and compliance, GRC, um, and the rest. Okay, so I've actually started a series on DORA for some time now, and my objective is to be able to actually explain, article by article, the requirements, the compliance requirements of DORA, okay, for the people that are going to write the exam, DORA lead, manager, certified DORA lead security manager, right, and other certifications that are out there, and some of them are still coming up as the D-Day for DORA uh, implementation of comes nearer. Okay, by January 17, 2025, DORA will become completely operational in Europe. So there'll be a lot of training, of course, and this is one resource which I want to use to help those that be writing those exams to prepare. And it's also a resource I also want to use to help those that will be implementing DORA all over Europe, and even the supervisory authorities, the auditors that will be auditing DORA compliance. These are very good resource materials that will be of assistance. All right, so we in the earlier series, like I said, I've treated ICT risk management, and today I'll be looking at incident reporting and response. Okay, all right. Some minutes before starting this lecture, I just realized, wow, we need to add relevant definitions. Okay, so if you look at chapter 1, all right, of DORA, that is Article 3, basically. Okay, so you have Article 1 of DORA, subject matter. Article 2 of DORA is scope. Article 3 is uh definitions. Okay, so from those, I think about 65 definitions also in DORA. Okay, so I picked the ones that are relevant to incident response, all right, and reporting. So the first one, of course, is an ICT related incident. According to DORA, this means a single event or a series of linked events unplanned by the financial entity that compromises the security of the network and information systems and have an adverse impact on the availability, authenticity, integrity, or confidentiality of data or on the services provided by the financial entity. All right, so uh, what this is saying is basically that an ICT-related incident is whatever event or um, array of events, okay, that are linked together, which you didn't plan for. You were not expecting it, but it still happened anyway, all right, which can affect negatively, all right, availability of your operations, all right? Availability means services should be should be up and running. All right. So if I want to check balance, I should be able to check it. I want to do transfer, should be able to do it. All right. I need access to a log. I should be able to have that log available. All right. That is what availability is all about. So whatever happens that can affect that availability criteria, all right, which is not planned for, is referred to as ICT related incident. Authenticity, right, simply means you can actually tie, an action to an individual. All right, I should be able to. Authentication means, okay, I should be able to identify myself to the system, and the system should be able to authenticate me that yes, I am the one. Okay, is actually that logged into this system at 9:00 a.m. All right, and this is what he did. All right, that's authenticity. So I should be able to actually verify, all right, who did what. All right, I should be able to authenticate. I should be able to uh, validate the identity of users of system resource, information system resources. So any incident that happens that can prevent that, then that simply becomes, an incident. It has happened before in several case studies. So people can't log in, for example. So you log into the system, and somehow the system is rejecting your user ID and password, even though they are correct. Okay. So that is an incident, okay, that can affect authenticity. Okay, then integrity, all right. And any unplanned event that can modify balances, modify transactions, balances without authorization. All right. So that kind of incident has affected your integrity. And confidentiality means only authorized people should have access to specified information or data. All right. So really, ICT related incident that can affect confidentiality is like incident that happens that kind of throw your confidential data, all right, up to people that are not authorized. So, for example, something happened and you find, PII, personally identifiable information of your customer or of your employees, all right, all over the internet. All right. So, USB file containing certain information, all right, go missing. All right. And those information are very critical. Somehow that USB file is way out of the premises. You know what that means. All right. So ICT incident is basically unplanned events that can cause, you know, or any discomfort or adverse impact on these uh, identified criteria, or even the services provided by the financial entity, all right? Disruption of services, degradation of service quality, and so on. All right, so that is ICT related incident. All right, there. So remember, I'm taking this from Article 3. All right, I'm taking this from Article 3 of DORA, just for us to be able to have a very good background to this chapter 3 of DORA, which is on incident response. All right, and reporting. So operational or security payment related incident, all right, means a single event or a series of link events unplanned. Look at the keyword again, unplanned. You didn't plan for it. All right, it's not what you actually expecting in your daily day-to-day operations. So unplanned by the financial entities referred to in Article 2, Paragraph 1.A to D, all right, whether ICT related or not, that has an adverse impact on the availability. Okay, don't forget that article is referring to scope, all right, the financial entities that are affected by DORA, all right. So whether ICT related or not, that has an adverse impact on the availability of the necessity, integrity or confidentiality of payment related data, or on the payment related services provided by the financial entity. So operational security payment related is still all right for me. it's still an ICT related incident for me. But now it's just more narrowed down. It's more specific now to payment systems. All right, so we are looking at incidents that happen relative or to payment platforms, payment portals, payment transactions, payment databases, and so on. All right, so whatever is on plan, whatever events or series of link events that are on plan that can have negative impact, all right, on your payments operations, okay, is referred to as operational or security payment related incidents. All right, these incidents will definitely happen. All right, that's the truth. If you look at IT says, okay, what drives IT, all right, what drives services rather in organization, all right, you're looking at people, you're looking at technology, and you're looking at process. Three things according to IT, all right, people, processes, and technologies. And all of them, the three of them actually have vulnerabilities. All right. People could have vulnerability. All right. They may not be trained, they may not be skilled. All right. They may be hungry at the organization. All right. Those are issues that so you have internet threat, all right, and so on. So people uh are not perfect, okay, so things can go wrong. Technology too can have vulnerabilities. They could be too complex, all right, they could be too complex, they may not be properly tested, all right, they may have control gaps and so on. And the same thing with processes. All right. Most of the time, processes, all right, the strength of processes often depend on the capability of the people factor, all right, because it's people that set up processes. Okay. So processes might not be mature. So if you look at capability, maturity, integration, all right, CMMI, all right. So it talks about the different levels of maturity that processes can be in an organization, all right, initial, managed, you know, and so on. Okay, defined. Okay, then optimize. So you have organization at different maturity levels of their processes. So that can also create vulnerabilities. So what I'm basically saying is that every financial entity, all right, affected by DORA, and even those that are not affected by DORA, should know that definitely incidents will happen. All right. So if you look at ISO 27035, all right, it's first recommended that you start with preparation. All right. So beyond any other thing you want to do, assessments, assessment detection of events, reporting of events, assessments of events, responding to the events. All right. Learning from incidents, every other thing that follows in ISO 27035. It first starts with preparation. And the preparation comes from the understanding that it is just a matter of when, not if, when this incident will happen. Like I said, all right, the three pillars that our operations, our services are running on, they are not, all right, they are not perfect. Okay. So then this definition is key. Major ICT related incident. This is very key in DORA. That underlining qualification major, all right, like as we soon see in this section, all right, is very key. So major ICT related incident means an ICT related incident that has a high adverse impact on the network and information system that support critical or important functions of the financial entity. So it's major if it has high adverse impact. So the key thing there is the impact, all right, on the network of the financial entity. All right, high adverse impact. As we continue, you see that, because high adverse impact sometimes could be relative. All right. So people may want to play down what has happened in the organization, for because of reputational risk, right? A lot of these incidents happen in many organizations, but they tone it down, they bury it, right? Manage it in public, right? Because they want to look good, they don't want to look bad because of share price, especially listed companies. Okay, so but DORA is very careful, as we'll soon see in the regulation, that it also plays a burden on the supervisory authorities, the competent authorities, to actually be able to come up with thresholds, all right, that defines what we can call, high adverse impact. Okay, there is also a burden on the competent authorities to also be able to define specifically, let's not forget the proportionality principle, Article 4. All right. So we also need the competent authorities to also ensure that high adverse impact is not, it's not something that people can wash down. But basically, all right, when you have an incident happening, that's basically, I don't want to start assuming, all right, but I'm just giving an hypothetical scenario. So, like maybe 60% of processing is down. Definitely, all right. That's high adverse impact, all right. Or a business is down, beyond what we call the MAO, maximum acceptable outage, all right, in business continuity management system. So if there's a downtime, is an incident that causes a downtime beyond your maximum acceptable outage, all right, we should be looking at high adverse impact. Okay, so basically, that is a major ICT-related incident. All right. For those writing the DORA certification exams, please expect questions. All right, on this definition of major ICT-related incident. All right. So the next one is major operational or security payment related incident. All right, which means an operational or security payment related incident that has a high adverse impact on the payment related services provided. All right. So for a fintech, for example, right? So you have an incident that happened that grounded your platform, maybe your mobile app, okay, or a portal that is being used by your customers for an extended period of time. Okay, so major operational security primary related incident. The definition is still inked on high adverse impact. So his impact is the scale or the threshold of impact that determines what is major and what is not. Okay, now after major, the next keyword or description of incident here is the keyword significant, and they said significant cyber threat according to DORA. All right, Article 3 on definitions. So it means a cyber threat, the technical characteristics of which indicate that it could have the potential to result in a major ICT related incident or a major operational security or security payment related incident. So significant means by itself, all right, it's not major. All right. For now, it's not causing, a high adverse impact. But given certain circumstances, given more time, all right, it is possible that it's going to escalate, all right, into major ICT related incident. Then that means it's significant. All right. Like for example, in risk management, we talk about domino effect. So what's domino effect? Domino effect is something that happened, all right, and A happens and triggers B, and the triggering of B triggers C, the triggering of C trigger D. All right, so like that, like that. So before you know it, you have a chain effect, a chain effect. All right. So significant means it is not major yet. The impact is not entirely highly adverse. Okay. But given certain circumstances, for example, time, all right, for example, all right, combination with other cyber threats, all right, can result in to a major, ICT-related incident. That is significant cyber threat. Take note of it also. So those key definitions are very, very important for us to understand Chapter 3 around DORA, which is actually on ICT-related incident management, classification, and reporting. A key pillar in DORA. So incident management, classification, and reporting uh, you have Article 17 to 23. So we have Article 17 to 23. Those are the requirements. Okay, so let's look at Article 17. What does it say? ICT related incident management process. All right, paragraph 1 of that article says financial entities shall define, establish, and implement an ICT related incident management process to detect, manage, and notify ICT related incidents. So as a financial entity, you are expected to have incident management process. All right. So of course, for that starts with the right documentation. So you will need an incident management process documentation, incident management policy, all right, incident response plan documentation, all right, establishment of an incident response team, okay, or SOC team, if you will. All right, having in place tools for incident reporting, all right, and incident reporting classification, all right, escalation if there is need to to higher levels, okay, within the incident response management team. Okay, so this is very related to preparation stage, all right, which ISO 27035 talked about. Okay, so we need, a financial entity need to actually sit down and create that incident management process for detection, management, and notification of ICT-related incidents. Now, I always say this in incident management classes, all right, that the greatest capability that an organization should have in incident management is actually the capability of detection. Because what you don't know, you cannot respond to it. So if you are building capacity on response, but you don't have capacity on detection, so you can have all the response capability and it's going to be useless at the end of the day. So I always advise organizations to actually build detection capacity. And you can't build detection capacity in these days and time without technologies. All right. So you need SIM tools, security information event monitoring tools. You need artificial intelligence. You need machine learning enabled detection tools. All right. To be able to meet this particular chapter 3 requirements on incident management properly. Okay, so that's Article 17, paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 says financial entities shall record all ICT-related incidents as significant cyber threats. So you need to have a record. So the competent authorities or the auditors will ask, all right, where are you? Where? So in the last 1 month, the last quarter, in the last 1 year, all right, what are the ICT-related incidents that have happened? What are the significant cyber threats that have happened? So you need, and that's what I talk about, you need a platform. All right, you need this is of course at this age and time, and we're talking about Europe. We shouldn't be talking of just creating manual manual databases. All right, of using of incident. So you should have a tool. All right, you need an incident management tool. There are many of them in the market outside there, very affordable. All right, depending on your proportionality principle, Article 4. All right, so we need a tool to serve as a repository of all logged incidents, ICT related incidents. Okay, financial entities shall establish appropriate procedures and processes to ensure consistent and integrated, look at that word, integrated monitoring, handling and follow-up of ICT-related incidents to ensure that root causes are identified, documented, and addressed in order to prevent the occurrence of such incidents. So basically, you see this paragraph 2, an incident management tool will solve it, right? I don't want to be mentioning names of incident management tools, all right, so that you look as if I'm promoting certain tools. But of course, there are many in the market, all right. So your IT, your DORA consultants, okay, can recommend to you, all right, for you, so that you have all these tools, all right. So we need, and look at this now. They also talk about procedures and processes. So that's the first thing, actually. All right. We need policies, incident, ICT, incident management policies, incident management procedures, right, that will guide each financial entities on, the do's and the don'ts of incident management in that particular organization. Okay, so we need to have those documents, those policy documents, all right, to guide us. That is very important. And like I said, that is the key first thing you need to do. You need to have procedural document on system management, all right, for the organization, all right. They also talk about root causes, all right. Root causes. Incident management is related to problem management. Incident management basically is identify, detect the incident, and shut it down as soon as possible. Shut it down so that we can continue business operation. That is the essence of incident management. But when we come to problem management, all right, it goes deeper than that. Because if you detect an incident and you shut it down, you're able to close it. If you don't determine the root cause, that means what you have treated is a symptom, all right? And so it will come up again. So to actually be able to completely shut down, close an incident, you need to find the root cause. So part of the incident management chain is actually root cause analysis. All right, RCA. Okay, so we need to have a team that will actually try to find out, how, why, when, where, all right, uh, uh, actually, so those questions, okay, can actually help us to determine where the incident actually and how the incident actually happened. Then that way we can resolve this issue once and for all. Okay, so that is paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 says the ICT-related incident management process referred to in paragraph 1 shall, look at this, put in place early warning indicators. So we need KPIs. So we need alerts. That's what that is talking about. So these are rule out, manual incidents management. It has ruled out this paragraph 3 of Article 17 has ruled out manual, all right, because we need early warning indicators. So your incident management process should be able to give you alerts, all right? You should be able to have tools that can send emails, that can send SMS, all right, or on incidents or potential incidents, all right, events generally. So the system, all right, even if the system is not sure whether that this is an incident, but it's looking like an incident, all right. So we have false positive, fine. False positive is not discouraging in incident management because you never know. So the system should be able to flag us. So if it is not an incident, we can knock it off. That's why ISO 7035 talk about assessment of events. So it's not every event that is logged at the end of the day that after being assessed will end up being an incident. So of course, so we need to have a team that will first check, all right, okay, when an alert is logged or when an incident, an event is logged, we need a team to check, all right, is this a false positive or is it an actual incident that we need to respond to? Very important. So we need alerts. We need alert system. All right. So we need to work with our consultants, all right, to make sure that we build those warning systems, all right, into our environment. So a SIM will actually be very good. A SIM tool will be very good to be able to do this. Very, very important. All right, AI-enabled SIM tools will definitely help here. Establish procedures to identify, track, log, categorize, and classify ICT-related incidents according to their priority and severity, and according to the criticality of the services impacted. Now, so this is very good. When you are buying an incident management tool, All right, it's very important you watch out for this. All right, when I'm auditing uh, IT, especially ISO 27001, and when we get to incident management, and I'm looking at that tool. These are things I always try to look for. All right, can who has access to the tool? That is one of the first questions I normally ask. Who in the organization? All right, because the more people that can have access to the tool, the better for the organization. All right, because anybody actually in an organization can detect an event, an incident. It's not just IT. All right, so you don't want to make that mistake that is only IT or information security that can report events in an organization. You have limited yourself, right? So there are many case studies where you see even end users that pick some of these even technical vulnerable technical incidents. Yes. So we have to look at who can report. Then what can they report? All right. Does the tool have the incident reporting tool? Does it have um, can I describe the incident? Can I assign, can I describe at a high level the severity? All right. Can I describe the service impacted or the asset impacted? Can I describe the criticality of the asset or service impacted? All right, and so on. So these are very, very important. So whatever tool you are going to use should be able to log, all right, the incident, should be able to categorize the incident, all right, in terms of severity, in terms of the function affected, okay, we should be able to prioritize. Okay, so if we have multiple incidents coming in, based on the criticality assigned to each of the incidents, all right, we should be able to determine which one should be treated first. All right, like I said, ISO 27035 talking about assessment of events, right? Um, so it's very important, the people that are feeling that initially feel, log on to the application and load the incident. They may not have all the full knowledge, right, to be able to describe. So you need IT guys also to be able to look at it, what is logged. But another important thing that I've noticed with the tools you have is the ability to attach evidence, right? Evidence collection, all right? So if like we should be able to attach a screenshot, I should be able to attach maybe screenshots, other related, pictures or documents that are related to the incident I'm reporting. Very important. Okay, so assign roles and responsibility that needs to be activated for different ICT related incident types and scenarios. So you need to have a standing SOC team or standing incident response team. That is what that is talking about. So we need an incident response team on standby in the organization. Okay. Set out plans for communication to staff, external stakeholders, and media in accordance with Article 14, and for notification to clients, for internal escalation procedures, including ICT-related customer complaints, as well as for the provision of information to financial entities that act as counterparts as appropriate. So that's talking about communication. So this will be in our incident management process document or incident management policy. All right, what to communicate, when to communicate, who to communicate to, how to communicate, templates for communication of incidents. All right, do you need to communicate to maybe a tech partner? All right. Do you need to escalate? All right. So in incident management, we have escalation. So maybe by virtue of this, all right, okay, if this incident is not resolved within 3 days, escalate to the next layer of incident response. All right. Do we need to maybe escalate to European Central Bank as the case may be? maybe we are going to need help from outside the organization. So all these procedures should be embedded in the incident management policy or process documents. Very important. All right. Ensure that at least major, now this is what I'm saying now. Very, very important. Ensure that at least major ICT related incidents are reported to relevant senior management and inform the management body of at least major ICT related incidents, explaining the impact, the response, and additional controls to be established as a result of such ICT related incident. So IT or information security cannot hide, all right, major ICT related incident, all right. They need to inform the leadership of the financial entity when a major ICT related incident has happened, including the impact of that major ICT related incident on the organization and what they've done so far. All right, in response. Establish ICT-related incident response procedures to mitigate impacts and ensure that services become operational and secure in a timely manner. So we need to have ICT-related incident response procedures prepare in advance. Remember, I said that ISO 27035 talk about preparation. So in advance, so you have to have envisage, all right, the likely incidents. Of course, there'll be some things, I think they call it black swan, all right, black swan incidents or events, you can't even dream of it, all right, and they see happen, all right. But apart from maybe black swan events like that, you should have been able to have a team that will brainstorm on all likely incidents and what you are going to do, all right, if those incidents happen. COVID talk about getting pre-approvals for certain incidents, all right, response, all right, which you don't want to waste time, all right. Time is of essence, all right. For example, if something's happened and you need to shut down the entire network, all right, to save the organization, you can't make those kind of, you can't be looking for approval when time is of essence. All right. So in certain situations, you will have gotten pre-approvals, all right, for such. I remember I was in a training some time ago, and one head of IT is actually, gave us, a scenario where he had to do that because he has gotten pre-approval from management. Okay, so we need to get all that sorted out earlier. So that is Article 17, ICT-related incident management process. The next article is Article 18, classification of ICT-related incident and cyber threats. All right, paragraph 1 says, financial entities shall, all right, classify ICT-related incidents and shall determine their impact based on the following criteria. So all incidents cannot be graded at the same level. So you have to look at the number or relevance of clients or financial counterparts affected, and where applicable, the amount or number of transactions affected by the ICT-related incident, and whether the ICT-related incident has caused reputational impact. So how many customers were affected versus your total number of customers? How many stakeholders were affected versus the total number of stakeholders? How many transactions were affected versus the total number of transactions? So you have to look at that. You have to look at the reputational impact also. What impact has that incident had on your reputation in the market? Okay, so that is one way to actually classify, all right, an ICT-related incident. Another way is to look at the duration of the ICT-related incident, including the service downtime. Now, I mentioned that earlier. So something that happened that you're able to resolve within your recovery time objective. You can't compare the severity with something that happened that have exceeded your RTO, but within your maximum acceptable outage. That also cannot be compared with an incident that exceeded your recovery time objective, exceeded your maximum acceptable outage. The entity is in trouble. They are in big trouble. All right. So you have to look at the duration of the ICT related incident. You have to look at the geographical spread with regard to the areas affected by the ICT related incident, particularly if it affects more than two member states. So if you have something that happened and incident that happened that affected just maybe you have like 10 branches, it affected just one branch. All right, you can't compare it with something that affected 3 branches, or something accident that happened that shut down the entire 10 branches, or even also shut down your GR. All right, that was a case recently. All right, that where it's the incident affected the entire production environment of the organization, and also affected the disaster recovery um, environment of that particular organization. That is big problem, basically. All right. So these are criteria that DORA has given to be able to determine the classification of incident or ICT-related incident. You have to look at the data losses that the ICT-related incident entails in relation to availability, authenticity, integrity, or confidentiality of data. So what fraction, what percentage, all right, of your data has been affected? All right, what is the criticality of the data affected? What is the sensitivity of the data affected? All right. Then you can also look at the criticality of the services affected, including the financial entities, transactions, and operations that are straightforward. You can look at the economic impacts, in particular direct and indirect costs and losses of the ICT-related incidents in both absolute and relative terms. So all these are guidance to determine the severity of an incident. That's Article 18, paragraph 1. Article 18, paragraph 2 says financial entities shall classify cyber threats as significant, all right, based on the criticality of the services at risk, including the financial entities transactions and operations, number and or relevance of a clients or financial counterparts targeted, and the geographical spread of the areas at risk. So that's basically, at paragraph 2 is basically summarizing paragraph 1 of Article 18. All right, paragraph 3, the ESA is European supervising authorities, shall, all right, through the joint committee and in consultation with the European Central Bank and the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, ENISA, develop common draft regulatory technical standard, further specifying the following. All right, like I said, the DORA actually places certain burdens even on the competent authorities. So look at this now. The criteria set out in paragraph 1, including materiality threshold for determining major ICT-related incident, or as applicable major operational or security payment-related incident that are subject to the reporting obligation laid down in Article 19, paragraph 1. Note I said it when I was starting that, all right, some organization may want to play down the severity or the impact of an incident that ICT-related incident that have happened, all right, for obvious reasons, all right? They are trying to manage their reputation. So there may be confusion, all right? Impact could be said to be relative. And that is why the DORA is saying clearly here that the European Supervisory Authority and European Central Bank and ENISA, they have responsibility to actually come up with materiality threshold, all right, for determining what is major, all right, among ICT-related incidents or among operational security payment-related incidents. So this one, this paragraph 3 is a burden of responsibilities for the authorities. Okay, so the criteria to be applied by competent authorities for the purpose of assessing the relevance of major ICT-related incident or as applicable major operational or security payment-related incident to relevant competent authorities in other member states, and the details of reports of major ICT-related incident or as applicable major operational security payment related incident to be shared with other competent authorities pursuant to Article 19, paragraph 6 and 7. So still emphasizing the fact that those stated authorities, the supervisory authorities, need to come up with criteria to determine what is major. All right. Then the criteria set out in paragraph 2 of this article, including high materiality threshold for determining significant cyber threat. So even significant cyber threat also, ENISA, the Central Bank of Europe, the European Central Supervisory Authority, they also need to work on definition of threshold that meets the significant cyber threat criteria. Okay, when developing the common draft regulatory technical standard referred to in paragraph 3 of this article, The ESAs, all right, that's the European Supervisory Authority, shall take into account the criteria set out in Article 4, Paragraph 2, as well as international standards. So you can see in the course of this training, I've been quoting other standards, ISO 27035 and so on. If you look at other videos I've done, you notice that, all right, as you're implementing DORA, all right, or you're auditing DORA, okay, or you're checking for compliance, you also need to look at what other international standards and other guidance are saying. So guidance and specification developed and published by NISA, including where appropriate specification for other economic sectors. So for us to determine what is major, what is significant as regards ICT related incidents, we are, the ESAs are encouraged to also consult other materials to be able to decide, objectively, whether an incident is major or significant. Okay, so that is Article 18. So classification. So Article 18 simply give us guidance on how to know whether an incident is major or whether it is significant. Great, great, great. Okay, so that's Article 18. So we can move on to uh, Article 19, reporting on major ICT-related incidents and voluntary notification of significant cyber threat. Take note of this. So look at paragraph 1. Financial entities shall report major ICT-related incidents to the relevant competent authority as referred to in Article 46 in accordance with paragraph 4 of this article. Remember earlier, we have said that whoever is in charge internally must report major ICT-related incident to the management body of the entity. Requirement number 1. Now, requirement number 2 is now coming in that the financial entity to that a major ICT related incident have happened in the organization must report it to the relevant competent authority within that state. All right, within that member state. All right. So please take note in your exam. All right. Major ICT related incident must be reported. Okay. Now, this DORA continues and say where financial entity is subject to supervision by more than one national competent authority referred to in Article 46, member states shall designate a single competent authority, no confusion, as the relevant competent authority responsible for carrying out the functions and duties provided for in this article. So where you have a member state which has more than one competent authorities, the financial entities may be confused. Okay, we have had a major ICT-related incident. Who do we report to? Okay, we have 3 competent authorities. What do we do? The DORA is now saying that that particular member state must select out of the competent authorities the competent authority that will be receiving those reports in that member states. That's what we have here. Credit institutions classified as significant in accordance with Article 6, Paragraph 4 of Regulation EU number 1024/2013 shall report major ICT-related incidents to the relevant national competent authority designated in accordance with Article 4 of Directive 2013/36/EU, which shall immediately transmit that report to the European Central Bank. So this is talking about reporting of major incidents, okay? Major ICT-related incident. Okay, now, all right, the initial notification and report referred to in paragraph 4 shall include all information necessary for the competent authority to determine the significance of the major ICT incident and assess possible cross-border impact. So you can't hide information. That's what this is saying. When you are submitting your report on the major ICT-related incident that happened in your financial entity, give the competent authority all the information they will need to determine, all right, the significance of that incident and whether that incident will not be localized. We all know, right? Look at the 2008 global recession. So you have 1, 2, 3, right, financial entities going down, and before you know it, it started, what I call domino effect the other time. All right, so it started triggering, domino effects, right, all over nations and all over the world. So that is why your financial entities cannot afford to hide information, all right, when they are submitting this information to the competent authority so that they can know what to do at the uh, at the EU level immediately. All right, Article 19 on reporting on major ICT-related incidents. Paragraph 2 says financial entities may now look at this now, on voluntary basis, notify significant cyber threats to the relevant competent authority. Remember, we said significant cyber threats are cyber threats that they cannot on their own cause major adverse impact. Okay, but they can lead to major uh, ICT-related incidents, all right, maybe due to time, maybe due to combination of other incidents and so on. So you are not bound to report significant cyber threats, all right? So, but you are bound to report major ICT-related incident. Take note of that. So, but if you want to report it voluntarily, if you want to report significant cyber threat voluntarily, you can do that, all right? When they deem the threat to be of relevance to the financial system, service users or clients, the relevant competent authority may provide such information to other relevant authorities referred to in paragraph 6. Credit institutions classified as significant, all right, in accordance with Article 6, paragraph 4 of the regulation, EU number 1024/2013, may on a voluntary basis also notify significant cyber threats to relevant national competent authorities designated in accordance with Article 4 of Directive 2013/36/EU that shall immediately transmit the notification to the European Central Bank. So basically what this Article 2 is saying that you are free, all right? You can only report significant cyber threats on a voluntary basis. All right, paragraph 3 of Article 19, where a major ICT-related incident occurs and has an impact on the financial interests of clients, financial entities shall, all right, without undue delay, as soon as they become aware of it, all right, inform their clients, hey, okay, fine, this is not talking about the competent report to the competent authority. Inform the clients affected about the major ICT-related incident and about the measures that have been taken to mitigate the adverse effect of such incidents, right? I remember that was a particular organization that had a data breach, and for like 3 years, right? They just kept quiet, and they did not inform even even personally. I got that information. Okay, I got that information about that the data breach. Okay, yes, that was years after the incident, the data breach has happened. And it's this kind of scenario that DORA is addressing in this paragraph 3 of Article 19. So apart from the fact that you are going to report a major ICT-related incident to the competent authorities, you also have to report, all right, that incident to the clients that are affected. All right, the customers, the stakeholders are affected by that major ICT-related incident. So in the case of a significant cyber threat, financial entities shall, where applicable, inform their clients that are potentially affected of any appropriate protection measure which later may consider taking. For example, if your password is compromised, all right, they may advise you to please change your password. Okay, change your password because your password on our application is already compromised. So let people know such information on time so that they can act. Okay. Paragraph 4 of Article 19 says financial entities shall, within the time limits to be laid down in accordance with Article 20, first subparagraph point A, point 2, submit the following to the relevant competent authority an initial notification. So provide an initial notification. B says an intermediate report. After the initial notification, refer to point A. So as soon as the status of the original incident has changed significantly, or the handling of the major ICT-related incident has changed based on the information available, followed as appropriate by updated notifications every time a relevant status update is available, as well as upon a specific request of the competent authority. So paragraph 4 here is saying that within a time limit to be laid down, when there is a major ICT-related incident, you have to give an initial notification to the competent authority. Of course, after that initial notification, there will be some further development. Maybe, for example, initially you thought 5 million accounts were affected. Now, upon further investigation, they're now discovering that 20 million or 50 million accounts, all right, were breached. Okay, so in that situation, you are required to provide an intermediate report after that initial notification. Then at the end of the day, when the dust have settled, you produce a final report to the competent authority. But when the root cause analysis has now been completed, regardless of whether mitigation measures have already been implemented or not, and when the action part figures are available to replace estimates. So when you have done your root cause analysis, all right, and you have the actual number of accounts, number of users, number of systems, all right, amount transactions affected, you are required to provide a final report to the competent authority. So you can see the stages of reporting. You have initial notification, you have intermediate report, you have the final report. Please take note. Paragraph 4 of Article 19. Paragraph 5 of Article 19. Financial entities may outsource in accordance with union and national sectoral law the reporting obligations under this article to a third-party service provider. Why not? In case of such outsourcing, the financial entity remains fully responsible for the fulfillment of this then reporting requirement. So you may decide to outsource, all right, the reporting of the major ICT-related incident. That's what paragraph 5 is saying, but they are saying, all right, the vendor you are using will not be held accountable. So the financial entities still have a responsibility to ensure that they choose the right vendor and they make sure that the vendor actually reported correctly, because the vendor will not be held accountable. The financial entity is the one that will be held accountable for wrong disclosures. Okay, then Article 19, paragraph 6 says, upon receipt of the initial notification and of which report referred to in paragraph 4, all right, the competent authority shall in a timely manner provide details of the major ICT-related incident to the following recipients based as applicable. So this paragraph 6 is a burden on the competent authority. So the initial notification, the competent authority should pass that information, all right, to the EBA, that is the European Banking Authority, ESMA, that is the European Security and Marketing or Markets Authority, all right, then or EIOPA, that is European Insurance and Occupational Pensions Authority. All right, so the competent authorities are supposed to relay that disclosure, those reports, all right, those incident reports to these authorities, all right, or to the European Central Bank, okay, in the case of financial entities referred to in Article 2, paragraph 1, points A, B, and D, all right, or to the competent authorities, single point of contact, or CSIRTs, okay, that's Computer Security Incident Reports Response Team, okay, designated or established in accordance with Directive EU 2022/2555, or other relevant public authorities under national law. So the competent authorities cannot keep that information to themselves. That's what this paragraph is saying. They too need to escalate the information, all right, the reports, incident reports further to any of these authorities listed under paragraph 6 of Article 19. All right, so paragraph 6, Article 19 basically is on reporting of major ICT-related incidents and voluntary reporting of significant cyber threats. Very key requirements in DORA, Article 20 of DORA is on harmonization of reporting content and templates. So what do we report? All right, when there is a major ICT-related incident, what do we report? How do we report? That is what this Article 20 is talking about. So this Article 20 is also a burden on the ESA, all right, the European Supervisory Authorities, through the Joint Committee and in consultation with ENISA and the European Central Bank, shall develop common draft regulatory technical standards in order to establish the content of the report for major ICT-related incidents in order to reflect the criteria laid down in Article 18, subsection 1, and incorporate further elements such as details for establishing the relevance of the reporting for other member states and whether it constitutes a major operational or security payment related decision or not. So this is talking about the templates, all right? What information should be in the report? So the ESAs need to work on that. Okay, determine the time limit for the initial notification. So the initial notification, for example, GDPR, all right, GDPR, you suffer a data breach. GDPR says within 72 hours, you must report. That's what this is talking about. So this is placing, Article 20 is placing that burden on the European Supervisory Authority to determine the time limit for the initial, the first notification by the financial entities that have suffered a major ICT-related incident. Then also to establish the content of the notification for significant cyber threats. Remember that significant cyber threat, the reporting of significant cyber threat is voluntary. So you can't expect the content or the template to be the same as that of major ICT-related incidents. So the ESAs need to also work on the templates for reporting significant cyber threats. So that is Article 20. We need standard templates. That's basically what Article 20 is talking about. Okay, Article 21, okay, of DORA is talking about centralization of reporting on major ICT-related incidents. All right, remember we said that, each financial entity in a member state will report to the competent authority in that member state. Now, this is talking, Article 21 is talking about, having an EU hub for reporting this incident. So it says, paragraph 1 says the European supervisory authorities through the joint committee and in consultation with the European Central Bank and the NISA, NISA is the European Union Agency for Cybersecurity, shall prepare a joint report assessing the feasibility of further centralization of incident reporting through the establishment of a single EU hub for major ICT-related incident reporting by financial entities. The joint report shall explore ways to facilitate the flow of ICT-related incident reporting, reduce associated costs, and underpin thematic analysis with a view to enhancing supervisory convergence. What the earlier articles have said that, okay, you as a financial entity report your major ICT-related incidents, ICT-related incidents to your competent authority, then the competent authority too will also report, all right, to the European Supervisory Authority or the European Central Bank, all right, and other supervisory authority. So why not harmonize it? And so that we have a single EU hub. That is what Article 21 is saying we should consider. Paragraph 2 says the joint report referred to in paragraph 1 shall comprise at least the following elements: prerequisites, all right, for the establishment of a single EU hub, benefits, limitation, and risk, including risk associated with the high concentration of sensitive information. And because it's going to complicate, it's going to be complex actually. So you see the whole EU, all the financial entities in EU, all right, basically thousands of them reporting to a single EU hub. So imagine the complexity. So that's why they are saying, okay, let's look at the benefit, let's look at the limitation, let's look at the risks also. Then the necessary capability to ensure interoperability with regard to other relevant reporting schemes. Okay, so this is basically what Article 21 is saying. Can we have a single, all right, EU hub for reporting of major ICT related incidents? The SA should look at the possibilities, should look at the benefits, look at the limitations, should look at the risk. All right. So elements of operational management, conditions of membership for the EU hub, technical arrangement for financial entities and national competent authorities to access the single EU hub. All right. Preliminary assessment of financial costs incurred by setting up the operational platform supporting the single EU hub, including the requisite expertise. Of course, they will need platforms. They will need secure portals for transmission, connecting the EU hub to the financial entities and the rest. All right. So, of course, there'll be some financial elements, financial implications. Okay. So that's what that is talking about. So Article 21, paragraph 3 says, the ESAs, the European Supervisory Authority, shall submit the report referred to in paragraph 1 to the Commission, the European Parliament, and to the Council by 17 January 2025. Okay, so possibilities or the feasibility of the EU hub. All right, the report on the feasibility of a single EU hub, all right, for reporting of major ICT related incidents. Okay, so the deadline for producing that feasibility report is 17 January 2025. Wonderful. So basically, that is what Article 21 is addressing. Can we have a single EU for reporting? That would be nice. Okay, but let's see what the report will look like at the end of the day. Article 22, supervisory feedback. All right, paragraph 1 says, without prejudice to the technical input, advice, or remedies and subsequent follow-up, which may be provided where applicable in accordance with the national law by the Computer Security Incident Response Team, CSIRTs, under Directive E 2022/2555, the competent authority shall, upon receipt of the initial notification and of which report as referred to in Article 19, paragraph 4, all right, acknowledge receipt where feasible, provide in a timely manner relevant and proportionate feedback or high-level guidance to the financial entity, in particular by making available any relevant anonymized information and intelligence on similar threats, and may discuss remedies applied at the level of the financial entities and ways to minimize and mitigate adverse impact across the financial sector. So what this is basically saying that the competent authority that received the initial notification of the major ICT-related incidents cannot just sit on the report. All right, so they said in a timely manner, all right, looking at the urgency required on what is happening, they are also supposed to provide a feedback. Yes, we got your notification, we have looked at it, this has happened somewhere else, all right, and these are what they did, all right, to address it. Or we have also looked at talked to our experts, and this is what they recommended for you to either remediate or at least to be able to minimize the impact. So this article 1, this article 22, paragraph 1 is also placing a burden on the competent authority to also provide an input, all right, to help that financial entity to be able to manage effectively the incident, the ICT-related incident that have occurred in their organization. Okay, so it said, without prejudice to the supervisory feedback received, financial entities shall remain fully responsible for the handling and for consequences of the ICT-related incident reported pursuant to Article 19, paragraph 1. I love this. What this is saying is that, yes, the competent authority is going to respond by assisting you as a financial entity in any way they can, all right, to be able to remedy or to be able to mitigate the impact of the incidents that happened in that financial entity. But don't even think about it that you are not going to push, the responsibility for, addressing that incident to the competent authority. So I'm sure, all right. Yeah, I can also I can almost imagine, what happened here, all right, when the writers of this regulation were writing it. Most likely, somebody just raised and in that technical committee and said, "Wow, would this paragraph 1, all right, of Article 22, will really not shift responsibility for managing, all right, the incident, the ICT-related incident to the competent authority?" And I believe that is why they added that last line, all right, that look, regardless of what the competent authority is going to do, regardless of the recommendations they're going to make, regardless of their input, all right, the consequences, all right, for managing the ICT-related incident still lie, all right, with the financial entity that made the report. So this is very important. Paragraph 1 of Article 22. All right, paragraph 2 of Article 22 says, all right, the ESAs, okay, the European Supervisory Authority shall, through the Joint Committee, on anonymized and aggregated basis, report yearly or major ICT-related incident, the details of which shall be provided by competent authorities in accordance with Article 19, paragraph 6, setting out at least the number of major ICT-related incidents, their nature, and their impact on the operations of financial entities or clients, remedial actions taken and costs incurred. Okay, so this is saying that the European supervisory authorities on an annual basis, they have to create a report of all the reported major incidents that happen in Europe annually. That is what this paragraph 2 is saying. All right. The ESA shall issue warning and produce high-level statistics to support ICT threat and vulnerability assessment. So you are looking at what is it called? Information sharing, information and intelligence sharing, another pillar of DORA. You can see clearly here that even the European supervisory authorities are now a source of information and intelligence sharing based on this paragraph 2 of Article 22, because on an annual basis, they're supposed to provide a report that compile all the major ICT incidents that happen to financial entities in Europe. And based on those reported incidents, they need to now be able to provide warnings, all right, and high-level statistics, all right, to the financial entity, provide guidance to financial entities so that they know how to be careful in subsequent years. So that will be very similar to what OWASP Top 10. I'm sure for the web application developers and the ethical hackers, what OWASP Top 10 is. All right. So ESAs, European supervisory authorities, are to provide detailed reports on reported major incidents on an annual basis. Okay, so the final Article 23 on incident response and reporting is Article 23, operational or security payment related incident concerning credit institutions, payment institutions. All right, so this is the requirement laid down in this chapter, all right, shall also apply to operational or security payment related incidents and to major operational or security payment related incidents where the concerned credit institutions, payment institutions, account information service providers, and electronic money institutions. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of this presentation on incidents reporting and response. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation and all that we have shared, okay, in these series. And like I said earlier, the series is still continuing. My objective is basically to be able to analyze and explain article by article the provisions and the requirements of DORA. Okay, and today I've been able to share uh, my knowledge on incident reporting and response, which is one of the key pillars of DORA. Okay, so in the next video, we'll be looking at chapter 4 of this particular EU regulation. If you have not subscribed yet, kindly subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.